Okay, are we live?
We're live.
We're live. Hi, everybody. Can you let us know if you can hear us and see us?
Clearly.
Clearly.
Welcome to Courtright and the world of technical issues. Again, I swear, someday. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this one.
Okay. Okay, anyway, I see lots of people are here already and you guys are chatting with each other. Okay, Jacqueline said it's all good. Sound
okay.
And okay. Okay, so hi, Tracy, Sue, Monty, Maureen, Bonnie, Mary, Kloska, Trudy, Barb, Luana. Wow, Connie, Emily, Janie, Ellen, Julia, Valerie, Kim, Kathy, Rose,
so many.
Catherine, Rachel, Sandy, Kim, Linda, Tammy, Joan, Alexa, Michelle. Okay, Sarah. I'm trying to see names that I haven't said already. Tammy. Oh, Rach. Rach thought I was having a nap, and that's why we were a little late because I babysat Isla this afternoon. So she kept me going, that's for sure. I had her running through the hose. She thought it was so much fun. Remember when simple things like that when you were a kid used to bring you so much joy?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So, anyway, I hope everybody is enjoying this hot, humid weather. So it's okay when you're inside. Actually, it's been not too bad to go outside as long as you can kind of come in once in a while and get out of the humidity. But I don't know if anybody else finds this, like I have to be knitting outside with a fiber that doesn't get, like the wool kind of sticks to your hands when it gets this humid outside. Anybody else have that, feel that?
Cotton. Knit with cotton.
Cotton, yeah. Yep. So, but anyway, and then you're trying to knit something that's not too big, so it's not all in your lap.
Right.
But anyway, well, we said hi to a lot of people. We should just go through just in case anybody's new, but I'm Noelle and I live in Sarnia in southwestern Ontario. And right now, I know there was some people on here that said it was raining in southwestern Ontario. It's not here right at the moment. It's kind of dark out. Hopefully we won't have thunderstorm issues. And this is Kelly.
Hi. And together we are Knits and Pieces.
And Kelly lives in the dark hole of no internet services.
Okay, but I have a funny story about that. So, well, I mean, parts of it are funny and parts of it are not. So I've been battling internet for some time now, and finally, supposedly, got a good connection back on Sunday. So I hooked everything up. And yesterday, my husband was home. So he was working on the basement and doing some things. And he sends me a text about 3:30 and he says, internet is down, which I know it's down because I was getting alarms from things at home that were no longer connected when I was at work. And so when I got home, that led me to contacting my internet provider, asking them again, I just had an outage. How can this be happening again? When is it going to be fixed? And I was really frustrated. And, I do not get angry at people on the phone because I realize it's not the person on the phone's problem. I understand that, but I'm seriously frustrated. This has been going on for a while. So then I got off the phone and I called up one of my coworkers. I actually left my office. I'm out in the back parking lot. I'm venting to my coworker. So I was being a little vocal then. And then I come home and I walk in the house and my husband says, the internet's working again now. And he said, I realized it was me. When I was doing the wiring in the basement and I shut off the wiring, well, clearly I killed the access to the modem. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're seriously trying to drive me crazy, stress me out, give me more gray hair. I don't know. But he figured that out 5 minutes after he killed the power in the house. But he didn't call me. And so 2 hours later, I just come home frustrated. And he's like, oh, yeah, it was me. It was me. So
anyway. Anyway, so last week was June 1st, and June 1st was the start of our Shift Happens Cal, and we've seen lots of new projects that have been started. They look amazing, everybody. I haven't started yet. I'm doing a couple of sample knits, and I kind of want to get at least part of the way through them, but all of your projects look amazing.
Amazing.
So, yeah. Anyway,
amazing.
I know Rachel was talking to me later. Rachel's my daughter-in-law, and she's doing a night shift shawl, and she started it. And she wanted to know if anybody else has issues knitting with mohair. It's making her itchy and her eyes water. So she's hoping that she's going to be able to wear it when it's done. Now she's been over here and she's felt mine. Now mine's been through the wash quite a few times, and she didn't seem to have any issue with that. But did anybody have issues with it while they were knitting? But then, after it was washed and blocked,
we should also
okay too.
say too, she's also using the Noro Akari. Right. Yep. So
what's the percentage? I don't think it's a high percentage.
No, it's not. I've got it here.
Because Rachel also did a shawl back around Christmas, and she was knitting with a fleece artist yarn, and it had mohair in it, and she felt the same way. But that was a gift shawl, so she didn't wear it after.
It's only 14% mohair.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
So I don't know. Anybody else have issues with that? Like I know sometimes I'll get a little sneezy when I'm knitting with mohair because the little fibers seem to come off and you feel like you've got, like you're going like this and you got it stuck to your lip gloss. And
yeah.
But usually after I'm okay for wearing it. So.
Okay. Oh, she says she's willing to push through the pain.
Yeah, but you want to still be able to wear it once you're done or use it.
I don't know. I don't have any sensitivities to mohair, but so I've got these are the Akari balls. These are the two colors that I'm using, and I would never have said that I even felt mohair in it. Really, I feel more the cotton and the silk. Yeah, and that's what I have done so far too.
That's pretty.
So it's coming out really nice.
Well, I did. I know last week I was deciding on what I was going to use for the base color for my shifty sweater. Mm-hmm. And I had shown the two Briggs & Little that were kind of solids, but then I also had, what was the other one? The Connie. So what I did was I rolled the Connie into a skein and twisted it up, and actually it looks really good with it. So I actually think that's the one I'm going to go with, because then there's just a subtle variation in the shade that'll go throughout the background of the sweater.
Okay.
I think that'll look good. So
yeah, a few people are saying, Rachel, maybe it's still just some allergies. I don't know. Do you have allergies? Mine dragged on a long time this year. I was still getting seasonal allergies. Have it
now with that poplar stuff that's in the air, that white that looks like fluff.
Fluff, yeah, exactly.
Yep. Anyway.
Trying to figure out. Okay. All right. So, well, if anybody else figures that out, or anybody else is having an issue, just let us know. We'd like to know about that.
Yep. So we've got a few more people that have joined us. So hi, Rosemary and Heather, Ewa. Who else do we have here? Tammy, Knit Inc., Kim. If I've missed anybody, just we're saying hi to everybody. It's hard to keep up with some of the comments. So anyway, I hope you're all enjoying knitting your shifty projects.
I'm excited about how many there are. I didn't think that so many people would jump in. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled that so many people are jumping in, because it's going to be great. And we have all summer. So, I mean,
that's why I wasn't too worried about not starting last week, because we still have a ways to go.
And you'll be able to do more than one at this rate.
Oh, hopefully. Yep. I know I know Kelly and I have talked about it before, but isn't it just a fun pattern to knit?
It is.
Like, it's just like so rhythmic once you kind of get going on it.
It is. I really want to do the sweater. The sweater is the only thing I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to be searching out some yarn for that. What weight is the sweater in, Noelle?
It's kind of a fingering to a
For the
sport.
sport? Okay.
Yeah. Because I think the original sweater called for spin cycle, which I think is classed as a sport, but really spin cycle you can almost knit as a fingering, a sport, or a DK, depending on what you're putting it in with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's great. I love the pattern.
Yes. Yep, for sure. I know. So I just want to go back and Emily said, and I totally agree. Emily said being allergic to wine would be a tragedy. But being allergic to wine and mohair, that would be like devastating.
That's the double jeopardy, right?
Yeah. We actually last night we had a power failure. You didn't, I don't think.
No.
We did for like 3.5 hours.
Did you get out your neck light so you could still knit?
I didn't. I should have. And it was right at 7:30 and it wasn't really bright yesterday. So it was getting dark. And all the projects, it seems like that I'm working on right now where I was at a not complicated, but something where I wanted light to see.
Right.
So consequently I didn't knit. So I thought, okay, I'll have a glass of wine. Well, then it's like, okay, I can't even have nice cold white wine because I don't want to open the fridge because I don't know how long the power's going to be off. Right. So I had to drink red wine. And then I wanted cookies that were in the fridge.
Yes, of course.
Anyways, I would have not made a very good pioneer.
I think about that all the time.
Well, and plus I had been outside and I'd had my iPad out watching some podcasts while I was knitting. So of course, by the time the power went out, my iPad was almost out of power. Right. And my phone. So we just get so used to having that power there that you just.
Well, we're spoiled, right? Like it's just, it's what
totally.
we're used to. And we don't want to go without anything that we're used to.
No.
So.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, Julia, way back when Julia says shift happens. Yes. I'm sure she's talking about my internet woes, but.
Yes. Yeah.
Years ago, one of my work conferences that I went to, they handed us buttons. He was the keynote speaker for one of my conferences, and his keynote speech was shift happens. And of course, your mind always hears something different. So he had gotten these they look just like they're thicker. Today our keyboards are so flat, but they were the thicker buttons from the keyboard, and it said shift happens. It had a little sticky, and I stuck it on my monitor, and it was there for years and years. But it's just a reminder that when shift happens,
you just have to
go with the flow. Along with it. You have to go with the flow, and it's been a rough week for me this past week. I know Noelle's had a rough week for some. Yep. Well, there's some family issues. Everybody's okay. Let's just say that. Okay. But it's just some family issues, and so it's been a bit of a drain.
Yep. I know, and it's like, and I didn't believe this before, but like sometimes when you get like that, and even you're upset and you're tense and you sit down to knit, or in my case, I'll sit down to spin, and that doesn't go right either. And then it's just like walk away, away, come back to it when you're in a better mood, and or you got to pick up a sock or something that
or a vanilla sock. Exactly. Just something that you don't have to worry about.
Put more added stress on yourself by trying to do something that's
So don't try to do the hard thing when you're stressed out. Let that go. And you know what? I mean, knitting is supposed to be stress relieving. It's not in any way, shape, or form to add to your stress. So just coast. Let shift happen.
We're glad that everybody's liking knitting their shift patterns. Shifty. And I know they're shifty problems. But I mean patterns. Okay. Anyway, yes, it's nice to be here talking to everybody. Oh, you said I need a wine fridge. I have a wine fridge. It's a big fridge. Oh yeah, but we have other things in it. That's why I couldn't open it. You're right. I need one specifically for wine.
Exactly. Anyway. What else?
Natalie says you need one of those coloring books. That's right, because we were at a cottage one time with all the kids, like older kids, and it was nice just to have that there to kind of pick it up, and you'd have like one of the pages open and anybody could just, pick up and color, and then you see what you create at the end of it. So anyway.
Okay.
And
Petra is
Julia
saying
said,
that it's I'm probably way back. Petra's
okay,
saying that the shift sweater was fingering, as she said that she
okay,
used an Advent and her daughter used Noro. So I'm also seeing in the chat threads that some people are choosing more of a tonal or a solid colored yarn. And we're so used to seeing, like the spin cycle yarns where it's a highly variegated yarn. So I'm really excited to see how people are going to use different interpretations and use a different style of yarn, because the project's going to come out totally different. And I wish we could all get together at the end and
I
do
know.
like
I'd love for everybody to be holding up their stuff
a
and
big
see.
group photo wearing our
Yep.
things. And
Yep.
yeah.
So
This weekend, things
Knit
are
in Public Day.
opening up in Ontario. We are
We could have 10.
finally rolling out of lockdown.
We can be in a group of 10 people
Be in
outside.
a group of 10 people, and we are going to take advantage of that in Sarnia.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are 10 of us, but there is a group of us, and some of them I haven't seen in over a year in this little group, and we're going to get together on Worldwide Knit in Public Day on Saturday.
Yep.
So what is everybody else doing for Worldwide Knit in Public Day?
Yeah, Sarah says we can finally go shopping at a yarn store on Friday.
We
I just got the thing from Little Red Mitten that said that they were open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm super excited about that.
But I'm not going to go right away. I'll wait.
I can wait. I have enough yarn to tide me over.
Like till next week. I won't go Friday. I'll wait till next week.
Yep. I'm having the worst time.
No.
I've got new headphones and they work great when both of them are in, but when one is in, the other one doesn't want to be. I'm not switching now, so I'm going to struggle through this. Okay. What is everybody else?
Susan says she's struggling with her stash yarn choices. Yeah, because you're putting so many things together. And she says the reason she's drawn to the shift patterns is that color changing thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing. Like you look at them, and especially in the sweater, like there are people that have done it more subtle with like maybe a background and just like maybe gradient, where it's like the colors that they've used in it are like the same color but different shades. Yes. And then there's people that have totally it's just super colorful, and they all look good.
They do. I haven't seen one I didn't like yet.
No.
And you know what? Like, again, just go back to that. Don't stress over it.
No.
Just knit what's going to bring you joy and try something. And if you're just not feeling it, we've got 3 months in this knit along. You can take it out. And you can start.
I mean, you start and you're going top down. And if you get in a color and you don't like the way it looks, you can just take back those rows and put in something else, right? Kind of like just as you go along.
Well, you can put a lifeline in. So if you're feeling really adventurous and say, hey, I just want to throw this in, I want to try this out, put a lifeline in before you start that color. And then if it's something that you're just not feeling 100%, you can back it up to that lifeline and just move forward from there. That's another idea too.
Yeah, and I mean, you could do that in the shift cowl or the shawl too. Like if you don't, the colors don't have to be like, I know a lot of people are doing it with the Akari, which is just like kind of one ball of each color. But the original pattern itself was done with 6 different colors.
6 different colors.
Spin cycle.
Right.
And the spin cycle themselves have a ton of colors in them.
Yes.
So, yeah. So.
And don't get too caught up with everything needing to match perfectly either. Like, honestly, have fun with it. You will love it. It will all turn out beautiful. It really will.
So, anyway, I know I wanted mine. Oh, Catherine wants to know, where's this public knit happening? Catherine, we're just going most likely to just go under the bridge.
Yes.
In Sarnia, and we all bring our chairs. And if you're around, I'm not sure what time yet, but if you leave a message after this video goes up, I can let you know what time we're meeting and you can come and meet us there.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. But I'm not sure yet we haven't finalized the time yet. Like I'm hoping the weather's going to be fine on Saturday. I think it's supposed to be.
And this is going to be in the morning too.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to try to beat the brutal heat too.
Yep. So Tracy says she's already started her sweater and she's already ripped it out and going to use different colors.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what you mean. You can hold colors together, and sometimes you just don't know what it's going to look like until you actually knit them in the project or swatch. Imagine a swatch.
Oh, Rachel says that she would like to come and knit, but she would need Noelle to babysit. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm up to watching Molly and Isla run around up at the bridge with the rocks in the water. And
no, definitely not. It's too much open access there.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so I didn't start my shift, but I did start something. So I'll show you. I'm doing a sample knit for Little Red Mitten. So here's
what I've got
done so far. So it's just a baby sweater. It's done in their basics, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the bottom, because the bottom is garter stitch. So when you do garter stitch, and if you're going around, you've got to knit a row and then purl a row, knit a row, purl a row, right?
Right.
Because if you're doing garter stitch in the round, you can't just knit. And then if you do that, you get
that would be stockinette.
Pardon me?
Because that would be stockinette.
Yes. But I'm saying when you do the garter stitch in the round, you get that seam, right? Or that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I thought, okay, I know I'd read that there was ways to do it. And I thought, well, I'm going to figure this out. So I looked it up, and it's basically you're just doing it the same way as you would do if you were doing helical knitting in stocking stitch, except for one of your passes is a knit row and one of your passes is a purl row, but you still stop the 3 stitches short, slip stitches to the next yarn, and then continue on, right? So then you're doing it helical, and you don't get that. Like, there's my side. You don't get that.
Oh, very cool.
You don't get that row. So, and also I was doing this on, it was a 16-inch, but I had really short needle tips. So like my normal way of knitting is English, and I'm throwing, right? But when I've got the shorter needle tips, I find it easier to do continental. Well, continental purling is harder than I would like it to be. So I thought, I'm going to try Portuguese purling. It was amazing. I can't believe how easy it was. So I'm going to, Kelly, you have to learn how to do it and do a tutorial.
Okay, I will. I've got my socks ready to go too.
It was so much fun. It was like you have the yarn around your neck, and it's kind of like, it's almost like you can slide your project and your yarn back and forth. You feel the tension. Yes. And all you're doing is you're flicking the yarn around the needle with like this finger. So a finger in your left hand.
Okay. Yeah.
But what I read about it was like people that use that as their main knitting style, like Portuguese knitting, if they're doing garter stitch, you know how garter stitch is knit, and not in the round anymore, but if they're just knitting garter stitch, you know how it's knit every row, they actually purl the whole thing because it's easier than the knit stitch in Portuguese knitting.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So for everybody who's for everybody who hates purling, this could be a cure.
Okay. I'm on it.
So,
I'm on it. Boy, I do not like purling. I just feel like it takes.
I don't mind it.
I just feel like it takes forever to do a round of purling compared to a round of knit, right? I mean, it doesn't, but
I don't mind regular purling, but when I'm doing purling continental, I find it takes me a lot longer. So this Portuguese was way faster. So.
Okay.
Mary said she loves Portuguese knitting. So what did I deflect from? The wine? I don't remember. The wine fridge?
No, I think deflecting from babysitting.
Oh, okay. No, I love babysitting. I just don't want to babysit them down by the river.
No. Klaska wants to know if you've tried the Norwegian purling. So that way your yarn stays at the back for continental. I have
tried it. I still find it much slower. Well, it was still way slower than doing Portuguese purling.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And.
Yeah. Mary says Portuguese purling is different and fun. It is. Like it's so nice now that we have all the resources that are available, like through YouTube, the internet, because back years ago when I was doing different things, you couldn't just say, oh, I'm going to try Portuguese purling, because then you'd have to go find a book and you'd have to.
Or find another knitter that knew how to do it.
Right. That access wasn't just right at your fingertips to pull up and learn. So.
Okay. Well, I'm all over it. I want to learn it.
Yeah, it was cool. I know Louise has been trying to tell us that for years, and we just didn't. And when I was doing that purling, when I was purling in the round and with the size needles that I didn't like, I thought there's got to be an easier way. Got to be an easier way. Oh, Julia was talking about passing the tutorial to you.
Yeah. Kelly, do something else. You haven't got enough on your plate. Do another tutorial.
Well, I don't have all the filming stuff for it.
Yes, you do. It's your phone.
And I talk too fast.
I had to learn to speak slower. I used to speak really, really quickly. And you remember when you had to read aloud in school? The teacher was always after me. I love to read. They're like, oh, who'd like to read? Oh, I would. Yeah. You know, I always wanted to read out loud. I love to read. And she's like, Kelly, we can't even understand you. You need to slow down. So.
Well, I taught accounting at the college here in town, and I had a lot of foreign students, and I always got slow down.
It's hard, though. I mean, your speed is your speed, right?
Well, you know what? Accounting's exciting. I get really excited when I talk about it.
Yeah. And you know what's even more exciting than accounting? Teaching it. I don't know. People think, Kelly and Noelle, you know, you're both into that field. How could you ever be excited about what you do? But I do. It's the way the numbers come together. It's the magic of the numbers.
It is.
And then when you can get something balanced and you're like, yes, it's perfect.
Oh, Kim's going, excuses. Yeah, well, maybe.
Okay, so I have something else here too that I'm going to cast on because I don't have enough cast on. But I pulled this yarn out and I'm super excited. So I need some pattern suggestions that would really highlight this. This, I caked it up. And this is Gray Skies Rainbow by Mothy and the Squid. And the skein was almost all gray. And just at the very tip, did you get all of these colors? So the color runs are really, really short in it. So it will be mostly gray. And I want to make socks. And it'll be mostly gray just with these little blips of really bright color. And I thought this would be the perfect June socks because it's Pride Month. And I thought this looked perfectly rainbow and gray. And then I can use, I was thinking about this really bright blue for heels and toes, or maybe
the highlighter yellow.
I do have highlighter yellow. That would be a bright toe, but there's also this kind of really, right here, you can see it. It's really electric purple. And I apologize if I have dirt under my nails. I've been gardening and I don't know how, like I've washed my hands, I've scrubbed my hands and the dirt, it's like it's growing under there. But anyway, so those are the colors. So I need some a really good rainbow-like pattern. And I want to cast that on too. So,
yeah, I have to stop casting things on and finish some things.
Rosemary. Yes, there we go. A fellow accounting person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Klaska said on YouTube, you can select on your own computer to slow down the speaking.
Yes, you can. And I often wonder if people slow us down.
We're trying to speak slower.
We're trying.
Anyways, but you know, much as we're really excited about accounting, we're even more excited about knitting. So,
but that's a lot like accounting. It's all numbers.
Yeah, it is.
Knitting is math. And I often think, you know, there's always a lot of people that say, oh, I don't like math. I didn't do well in math in school. It wasn't my favorite subject. But then I think, but you're sitting there knitting as you're saying that, and knitting is math, really. So,
yeah, I actually really like when I have to take a pattern and figure out some stuff, and then I like it even better if it works out after you've done that.
Speaking of doing knitting math, Mary in our, which group chat was it? I'm pretty sure it was in the
I think it's the shift happens. Yep.
She put a link in for how to do the math to recalculate or recalibrate any knitting pattern. So, sometimes like when you're making a sweater and, there'll be somewhere in there, depending on like what your stitch repeat pattern length is, the increments of the bust measurement might go up by 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and then all of a sudden 5 inches. And sometimes the designer just can't grade that. But this calculator explains to you how to make small adjustments to make any size of a pattern. So I linked it so that I can find it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tracy had mentioned that she was going to link it and put it on her page too. So if you're in Ravelry and that's of interest to you, I highly suggest that you go in and grab that. It's really, really interesting little calculator tool to adjust your patterns. And I also have to say, it's like my proud moment here. The way that I'm starting to see people interact within our chat groups is making my heart happy.
I know.
Like there are friendships developing and, I see people chatting back and forth, and I see that on Instagram as well. People maybe that now I'm like, oh, there's somebody that we know from our podcast. And then the next thing I see more people from our podcast. And that honestly makes my heart happy. This is what we wanted to do. We just wanted to build our own tiny little corner of the knitting community on the internet. And that's what it's all about. Just welcoming more people.
To a knit night, an actual knit night with people there would always be all little side conversations going on too. It wouldn't just be like two people talking to each other, because you're all sitting and you might be talking to this person beside you about one thing. So there's all different friendships that develop, but yet we all have this kind of one common interest.
But it's such a great resource too, because, maybe where you excel at something, well then, Emily excels at something else and Valerie excels at something else. And then you've got this fantastic pool of people to pull from, and we can all be teachers and we can all be students, and it just makes all of us better. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I know, same with you, Kelly, like you've been knitting for a long time. I've been knitting for like longer than I want to think about, but but it's amazing how many things I try now because of this community than I ever would have tried when I just knit by myself.
Yes.
Right. So.
Yeah. Well, it makes me happy, because that's what it's all about. Yeah. Tracy has goosebumps. Aww.
Oh, Bonnie says she's going to miss these podcasts when the world reopens. We're still going to do them, Bonnie.
Oh, we're not going anywhere, Bonnie.
We're not going anywhere. You're stuck with us.
Yeah, just because the world is open, I'm still going to be hanging out here in my basement on a Tuesday night.
Well, that's the one thing that's so good about this too, is that like a lot of the people that we do have conversations with, or that we interact with here, we wouldn't have ever met them because of distance. So this way we can still all stay connected, and hopefully sometime in the future, we might actually run into some of you at, Edinburgh.
Yes.
Norway.
Absolutely.
On our Norway world trip. Yeah, well, here we go. We're going to meet up with Catherine, who's been joining our group, that lives in Sarnia, but we didn't know her before. And now hopefully we're going to meet her on Saturday.
There you go.
So,
yeah, no, it's great. It really is. And just the way technology, as much as I sometimes complain about technology and I think, well, we're losing some of the human touch, in ways like this, it's actually bringing people together. Right. As you said.
Yep.
Some of the followers that we have that join us here on Tuesday nights, you're from very far away, and this is great to. Oh, Tracy's going to buy a ticket.
Well, yes, because she's taking us all. She's taking us all on the big trip if she wins.
That's right, our worldwide knitting trip.
Oh yeah, Michelle, we are going to Norway via Sydney. Think how many socks we can knit on the plane.
We haven't talked about this for a few weeks, but yes, the worldwide knitting trip around the world in 80 or around the world in 8,000 stitches. We need to make it more than 80 stitches for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I do. I just want to travel to the festivals again. I want to see the people, but
Yes.
I love spending my time with everybody here on Tuesday night too, though.
Yeah. But we have to pick Kim up on our way to Norway.
Okay. Yeah.
Deborah says she got up Tuesday morning thinking, yay, it's Tuesday KnitChat. That's so cool. I know. And you know what? Like, this is,
That's what I woke up thinking this morning too.
well, you know what? Like, I mean, I talked to you before we started this and I thought, I was just feeling kind of
Yeah.
not just down, right? And now it's like, I needed it.
That's perfect. Well,
Yeah.
it's funny too, because as soon as when I pulled you into the studio, I could just tell the look on your face. And we had like 3 minutes to live. And I'm like, I don't have time to ask her. But then she said, like, yeah, this is not a good day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't a good day.
Yeah.
There's some,
Anyway.
yeah. Anyway, what else do we have going on? Oh, Kathy said that she started the lightweight hipster because of us. She was intimidated, but I feel I have you have our support, Kathy.
You do have our support.
Absolutely.
And Kathy,
and everybody else in here too.
My daughter-in-law, Rachel, she hasn't been knitting for all that long. And she just finished her lightweight hipster and she would never have tried it either, but because of this group and talking to everybody, and hers is done and it looks amazing.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's such a fun pattern.
Yep. And like with anything in knitting, like everything is just, it's still just one stitch at a time. Like you might have to go look it up and see what that stitch is, but it's still just one stitch at a time. So, I mean, I know I sometimes get too caught up in and I want everything done faster, right? But realistically, I don't know why I do that because I just like the knitting of it. So if I knit it faster, it's done sooner. So,
yes.
But
yeah.
Anyway, but I don't think that people should be intimidated by patterns. Like there's always a way to do it. And the way I do something or the way Kelly does something may not necessarily be the way that you find is the easiest way for you, but there's so many tutorials. And if you find one and it's not explaining it the way you want, you can always like research again because everybody learns in different ways too. So
that's right. Okay, so Sarah says it would be more like 80,000 stitches. But Sarah, here's the question. What if we use super bulky yarn? Could we get around the world in 8,000 stitches? Not fingering.
How about like this?
There we go. Yeah.
We'd be really happy. We'd be really happy knitting this to go around the world too. It's so nice and bright and cheerful. And
you need to get that done up because that would be perfect.
I know, that's what I thought. Because I thought
it's like rainbow
what I could
colors.
do, I want to get it. I've got one bobbin already spun. I want to get the other one spun and get the yarn plied, and then I could actually loop it around my neck and wear it and knit from it at the same time.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I've got to get. Yeah, we have Noelle and I, we're playing bingo with the
with Chip
guys,
and
Chip and Aaron from Fiber Hustle this month. We put in we applied to play bingo, and it's our lucky month. I feel like I won the lottery, Tracy. We get to play bingo with Chip and Aaron. I can't wait. I don't even like bingo, but I can't wait to play this. It's going to be so much fun. We'll let you know.
Yes. Yep.
Michelle says that we are extreme enablers.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Are you okay? All right.
I'm okay with that.
I was thinking, I don't know if that was a compliment or a little bit of an insult, but
I just think if you want somebody to be an enabler, they can be an enabler.
Okay.
To satisfy your own.
If you need an enabler, we'll be your enabler. How about that? You know, some people need that person to not put the blame on, but if you need some big shoulders, we're your shoulders. Okay. We're okay with that.
Barb wants to know if I want to link to an adult dinosaur sweater. I don't know. That dinosaur sweater pretty much did me in. It was Intarsia, not my fave.
No.
Give me any color work, any all over, whatever, but Intarsia is just not my favorite. Oh, Barb's playing that day too.
Pride Bingo too. Okay. Well, Barb, we'll see you there.
Valerie had to go to work for that bingo. So she
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to expect. I'm just excited. Oh, Heather has to go and feed all the critters. Oh, she's going to come back soon. Okay. Wonder what kind of critters she has.
Oh, Maureen wants to go on a knitting cruise. I mean, obviously it would be amazing if we could do that, but.
Oh, a little further back, Austria. Somebody threw Austria into the
Austria.
link too.
Okay,
we did have Austria on that.
Ireland. Did we have that there? It's there.
I hope so. I thought that's where the trip started.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't know. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be fun? Could you imagine all of us together on a boat?
It would be fun.
Or a plane or anything, just anything.
Yep.
Kim said that the super bulky would take up too much room in our luggage. Well, no, on our trip, there's no luggage restrictions.
This is dream tripping.
Yeah, we're dream tripping. So
you can take whatever you want. You can buy whatever you want.
Right. So we can just do whatever we want. So bring all the yarn you want.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Sarah got new glasses. So she said it's the first time that she can see her knitting without staring over the tops of the rims. Isn't that a treat? I love that. But I'll tell you the one thing. So, I mean, I know that you can't see my setup down here, but for KnitChat, in order to see the comments, I have a large screen just off to my slight left, and then my camera is right in front of me. So I can't wear the glasses that I would normally wear for that, because when I look up, it's not quite what I need to be. So now these are readers. So it's a little less blurry, but I'm having to move my head more to keep everything in place. Natalie wants to know if I picked a baby sweater after all those suggestions. I did not, Natalie. I'm still collecting. So I started in Ravelry. I have my list of favorites. My list of favorites now has a new category. It's called baby. And there's blankets, there's sweaters, there's socks, there's everything in there. But I might have I had so many comments last week to make the Espace Tricot
chevron
baby blanket. And I looked at that one, and I had said that I wanted to crochet the blanket because I haven't crocheted for a long time. And I thought that would be just sort of fun to get back into. But after seeing that blanket,
I'm pretty.
Thinking I might knit.
I think those colors you have would look good in that.
I think they would too. And in my mind, when I bought the colors, it was always about a chevron. And I just think that it's such a, so I'm thinking it's going to be that blanket. So
I'm going to go back here. Tracy said that she uses me all the time. Tracy is one of the most amazing knitters that I've ever seen. So I don't understand how she thinks that she uses me all the time. Tracy taught me how to spin.
Yes.
Like up at a cottage, taught me how to spin, got me really interested in mohair and all sorts of things. So I would say Tracy is an enabler too.
She's a smart lady. She's a smart lady.
And a spinning wheel. And
anyway. Sarah says that we will have, our bags will be like Mary Poppins bags.
Yes.
Exactly. We can just
bring
keep
my spinning wheel too.
In. You can bring anything you want. This trip gets better every time we bring it up. I swear.
Yep. Anyway, I know when we're back to talking about glasses, half the time when I'm using them, these ones are bifocals, but then I also find when I'm doing close up, I need like magnifiers. So half the time I've got these on and then got the magnifiers down underneath with the two pairs of glasses. So
now that's a look. That's hot, Noelle. That's hot. I've never seen
already
that.
Married.
See that.
I'm already married.
Barb says that we will look high maintenance on our trip. Yes, we will. But we'll be the best dressed group of people traveling. We'll be all in our lovely knits. Imagine that.
Anyway, I'll show you my other glasses sometime. Hey, but it works. You have to do what works.
Well, I think you should show them to us, because you know what, then like if we're having a down day, we just have to go back to this memory of Noelle and her multi glasses. The Aviatrix hat by Justine Turner.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to add that one too, Julia.
There.
Oh, well, there we go.
It looks like that. Because see, I can look up, I can watch the podcast on TV, and I can look down and magnify my knitting.
Now, suddenly, it just makes me feel like I have double vision.
Hey, they work.
My mom has a pair, and they actually just kind of clip on her nose, and they're like magnifying spectacles.
Okay, that actually might be.
And she used to use them when she was sewing a lot.
Oh, Tracy said she screenshotted it.
Perfect, Tracy. That needs to go in the hashtag in the KnitChat hashtag on Instagram. That Tracy, I like that Tracy girl.
Anyways, whatever. I don't care. Put it out for the world to see.
Sarah said that she's happy that her glasses won't slip off and she's scared. That is the worst, especially on a hot day and you're sweaty. Yep. And that was happening to me on the weekend. I had my head down and the glasses kept sliding and I was getting really, really frustrated.
Okay, look, Kelly, this yarn is so pretty.
Oh, tell everybody what that yarn is.
This is Rose Hill yarn, and it was one of their little sock sets that comes with a 50-gram skein for the sock and a 20 gram for the heels, toes, cuffs. And this, Kelly bought this for the two of us because it was called Sunday afternoon. So this was what our knit chat was on Sunday afternoon. So we should write her. I'm not going to write her and tell her to make one for Tuesday evening.
There we go. We need a new colorway.
We need a Tuesday evening colorway.
Yes.
Anyway,
that's what we need to do.
It's
we need
so
to.
Pretty.
We need
it's so
to. We've talked about this before, and I don't know. I'll just say it now. Here's what we plan to do: is we're going to partner with some yarn dyer, and we're going to get a colorway made that we both have some input on, and then Noelle and I are going to write a sock pattern. And
we talked about this. Where was I?
We talked about it. You were there. How deep were you in that bottle of wine? We thought that would be
fun. Did I have my glasses on? Was I hearing right?
Maybe you had your earplugs in because she sleeps with earplugs too.
Right. Anyway.
Hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kathy has a suggestion, unless it's been mentioned before. Seaside Stroll from Espace Tricot as well. It's a fast, beautiful carriage blanket. I haven't seen that one. Okay. Seaside Stroll. Seaside Stroll. I'm going to have to go back and look at this.
Oh, we have people that want to test knit the socks too.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Since Noelle's throwing work my way, I just felt the need to, throw something back her way. Yes.
Okay. Well.
Okay. No. Joanne says that she wants to do the shift sweater, a Christmas one. She's got 4 of Kevin of Spin Cycle, 2 red, 2 green now, and she needs a sport weight in a cream. That's a good point, Joanne, because I was thinking earlier when we were talking about using the tonals for any of the shift patterns, like a more solid, I think it would look really pretty if you were to just use like a cream background or like a more neutral background, and then you used like some really vibrant variegated yarns or like multi-twisted. What's the word I want? I don't like to keep calling it spin cycle yarn because that's, I feel like I'm sort of plagiarizing them, but whatever it's called, it's that
Barber pole.
Okay, there we go. That's what we're going to go with. I think it would be fun to use any of the shift patterns and use like a plain background and then use the barber pole yarn as your little blips or your mosaic pieces that stand out. I think that would be a really interesting sweater too. Mm-hmm. And then it would kind of create like a banded effect if you did like this, for instance. Whoops. So it goes in a pattern of 1x1 slips, and then it goes 2x2 slips. So you get some big blips and small blips. And I know I'm not very far yet, and it's kind of hard to see this, but wouldn't it be nice, like just to have like this one, you can really see it. So if you had a whole neutral color and you just had these little blips changing color, I think that would be a really nice look too. That would be nice for the shift sweater, right?
Yep. So Joanne was saying she's looking for like a sport weight in a creamish color. It's not listed as sport weight, but the Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia is listed as a DK, but it's like 350 yards or 350 meters and 100 gram skein. And they do have cream colors in it. It would, I think, would be a really nice yarn to pair with Spin Cycle. And I know that I've knit a sweater with it, and the sweater that I did was actually a fingering weight sweater, even though that yarn is listed as DK. So I think that's a good one. What else is there? Like, just sometimes just because a yarn's listed as a DK or a particular weight, if you look at the yardage, it'll almost give you a better idea of how it's going to knit. Because like a DK, most DKs are probably around 220 to 250 yards per 100 grams. So if you see one that's 350, you might be able to knit it as a DK, but it's going to be a very loose fabric.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I really like the Juniper Moon Patagonia. Like, it's a non-superwash merino. I mean, it maybe doesn't feel like super soft like some of the hand-dyed superwash merino sock yarns, but it actually makes a really nice fabric. Mm-hmm. So can you think of any others in that type of weight?
No, that's actually the one that I was thinking of when you started talking about it. Yeah, that would be probably my best suggestion for something like that.
Yeah.
It's such a nice yarn, right?
Yeah, yes. There, Kathy says Patagonia is gorgeous yarn to use. So, yeah, and it's not incredibly expensive either, which is nice if you're pairing it with something like Spin Cycle, because then at least your background yarn can be a little more cost effective. Mm-hmm. So, and I believe if you look, like, there's a lot of places that sell it.
Mm-hmm. I know that I bought it at Little Red Mitten, so that's local to us, and they do ship. So if you're looking for that yarn, that's definitely available there.
But I'm pretty sure it's even on, I think that Juniper Moon Farms is on Webs, which is the big yarn. I think they have a store too, but I think if when you go into the internet, yeah, they do.
Online.
No, I'm pretty sure they have a store, because I've seen podcasters talk about being able to go there and going in, and they have all sorts of sales too. But anyway.
This is a happy post right here from Sarah, her V-back tee update. So I know that Sarah's been struggling with this, and I commend you, Sarah, for sticking with this, because this is her third try to get this sweater the right way. So she's going down 2 sizes, and it's fitting her perfectly now. So she's just finished blocking it to see how much more she needs to do for short rows to bring down the back. I am so excited to see this, because I swear I probably wouldn't have your endurance to do this 3 times, but I commend you, and I'm really excited that you better be showing us some pictures of that. That's great. I'm just so happy you finally got it to fit too, right?
Mary's talking about her socks on a plane, and she didn't realize that she had to do a right and a left sock. So now she has two right socks. Mary, that's exactly what I would do. What you said, I'd now knit 2 left socks and have 2 pairs of socks.
But see, for that reason, that's exactly why I started doing socks more like this. I started putting panels in on both sides, like left and right.
Yes.
And that way you can wear the sock any way you like to. And then you've got a story about Ross with his cabled socks too. I do.
Like, I've knit my husband quite a few pairs of socks on a plane, plus other ones that just have like a little band going down. To me, it should go down the outside of the sock.
Agreed.
The inside of the sock. And I always see him with his on, with the inside, the cable's inside. And I say something, and I thought, I'm going to fix that. So then I just designed a little pattern that had one going down each edge and called them No Wrong Way socks.
Perfect. Yes. Natalie is saying that Unraveled in Perth has free Canadian shipping.
Okay, I gotta go right now.
I didn't even know about that.
I'll be back.
How is there a store in Canada that I didn't know about?
I just need to go check on my iPad. No, I'm not until I get off here. Anyways, plus I just want to say too, I don't know why I was looking at this, but I was. Okay, I was looking for when Rachel was talking about her night shift and being allergic to the mohair that was in the Akari.
Mm-hmm.
So if I went on and I looked at the Noro yarns in webs, and there's like about 3 or 4 other different DK weight, very similar like type size balls, all different colors, but with different yarn compositions. And there's one that is mostly cotton and silk, and there's no mohair or anything in it. I can't remember what it's called, but I thought, why did I look for this? And I realistically have to tell myself there is a limit to the time that I have to knit these things.
The time I have left on this earth.
That's right. Anyways, and that usually lasts for about 5 minutes.
I just have this image of Noelle at 110, still knitting. I still have more yarn. I'm not ready to go yet.
Anyway, oh, I know that reminds me of when my dad was still alive, and Ross and I took my mom and my dad to Costco, and they'd never been to like a store like that sold things in such big bulk. And, we're buying stuff, and I'm like, Dad, do you need any of this? And he's lifting up the package, and it's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 tubes of toothpaste. And he goes to my mom, are we going to live long enough to use all this? And that's like the yarn, but I never think that.
I don't know. I'm starting to. I know I can't possibly knit it all.
Well, I sometimes think of it. I just kind of push that to the back of my mind.
Okay. Unraveled is on a break until Monday. So there you go. You can't shop right now.
So I don't have to go to my iPad right now.
And Natalie also says it's free during lockdown. So she doesn't know how long it will be after that because we're opening up on Friday.
Okay. Oh, well. Yeah, I might need a couple more pairs of glasses to knit till I'm 105. I know the glasses will be like this. But don't worry, Tracy will screenshot it.
Susan says she's not leaving without her yarn. At this point, I'm going to have to bequeath mine in a will to somebody. What else have we got there?
Well, I have a daughter and daughter-in-law that knit now, so.
Yeah.
But.
My daughter does not knit, but she sure likes getting knitted things.
Mm-hmm.
So she does other things, other crafty things, not knitting. So what else have you got going on this week?
What am I working on? Just that little sweater and spinning. I finished another yarn. This is a
silk. I love that.
So, and it's kind of like goldy green.
Yeah.
And I thought actually I've got 175 yards. I actually thought that would look really nice as the yoke in the Miserina. So.
Yes, it would.
I finished that. What else? I've been mostly moving my mom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I got very little knitting time this weekend. I had some appointments with my dad, and I got very little knitting time in. And we did a lot of gardening on the weekend in the heat. But it's done now, and when it's done, it's kind of like that feeling on house cleaning day when the housework's all done, and then you just kind of want to wander through and admire your clean, all done stuff. That's what I like about the garden. Once I feel like the garden is done, I like to just go out and look at it. I'm like, oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that. Look at that beautiful area. Not a weed to be found.
Well, the pool.
3 days later, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, we've opened the pool, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did go in, but I think my legs turned blue because it was so cold. But anyways, that kept me cool enough that I could still sit outside longer and knit. But anyway, thanks everybody for the on this. I just want to say again, this was fiber that Rachel got me. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, I really like it.
You know that I would be all over that.
You can actually see some of the little, like the white flecks from the silk in it.
Yes.
So it was really, really fun to spin.
And
I still can't go on and on.
Colored yarn, you know, it's just pulled in.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah said that she was thinking of me when she was sitting in the Home Depot parking lot knitting the other day. Sarah, I have a complaint about that. I have to say, they've gotten way too efficient at Home Depot. We had to go and pick up a hose. We bought one of those stainless, it's not stainless, but the metal hoses. That's a deal, not a deal breaker, a deal maker. That is revolutionized how much I want to water in the backyard. It's super nice. But anyway, so I placed the order Friday night and I got the email Saturday morning that it was ready. So I said to Mike, oh, we have to go to Sarnia. We have an outing. So I grabbed my knitting. I made him drive so I could knit on the way there. We get to Home Depot. We weren't even 5 minutes. They're waiting. Wow. I thought I was going to get to sit and knit for a while. I can't believe I just complained about that. Anyway, is what it is. Okay, Scrabble Hounds is talking about something that's foreign language to me. But it must
be a sheep breed.
Well, I know there's a Manx cat, but I'm pretty sure that's not what she's talking about.
Isn't the Manx cat the hairless cat?
No, the Manx cat is the tailless cat.
Okay.
And they're usually white.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I haven't heard of that sheep breed, but that sounds neat.
Okay.
Oh, Alexa has to go. Bye, Alexa. Yes, and Sarah said that the lineup was way too fast. She only got 2 rounds done.
I know.
Kim says she'd like to learn to spin, but no room for adding another craft. That's just like I would like to learn to sew, but I can't afford another hobby that's going to have stash somewhere in my house. So
I know.
We just moved my mom this week, and going through her stuff, like she's lived in the same house for 50 years. And realistically, we had kind of scaled down a lot of stuff earlier, but going through there, like I honestly cannot imagine going through this house, like my house, and going through the crafting stuff alone would be not fun.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, no, mine wouldn't be so bad. It would just be one room. So if they just came in and packed it all up into crates, they could empty one room. It's okay. It's literally just in the one space, and then the one chair I do sit in upstairs. It's knitting bags are near it, but literally everything's in one room.
So Scrabbletown said that the Manx Lopton is a very rare sheep breed. From where? I wonder where, like whether it's native to like over in Europe or.
I thought she said that further back. I'm going back.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, it didn't.
No, okay.
I wonder where it's from. Will it be somewhere that we'll see on our trip?
Is it one that I can raise in my backyard?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, Rachel might find it fun to go through my yard stash.
Yeah.
Susan said she scaled back a few years ago and it felt good. I actually did at the beginning of the pandemic, went through all my yarn, and there's like 2 huge garbage bags that we still haven't been able to drop off anywhere. And honestly, in the last, I would say, couple of weeks, I keep going, I really should get that stuff back out of there because I don't want to give it away.
I do that with I do that with clothes. So I regularly clean out the closet. Like it gets over full. And so I'll put things aside, but I don't really take them out of the house. I wait about 6 months before I take those out of the house, because sometimes there have been times where I thought I didn't want something, and all of a sudden I'll realize that I've moved it to one of the out bags, and I'll go back into the bag and grab it back out again. So.
Okay. The sheep is from the Isle of Man. So I guess we'll have to go there too.
Yes.
And Sarah says it's pronounced, and I think she's right too.
Lockton.
Lockton. So that makes sense. If it's from Isle of Man, that would be the pronunciation.
Very nice.
Anyway.
I would like to see that. Can you pop if you're on Instagram, if you could pop a picture and hashtag it KnitChat so that we can see it, that would be great. I'd like to see that.
Kathy says she has yarn and fabric stash list in her will.
Right? I know.
Well, when you really think of it, like there's a lot of value in.
Well, to somebody, right? It's, you know.
Well, if I'm talking about in dollars of what I paid for it, there's a lot.
Oh no, Noelle. What was the joke? Didn't we?
It should be in my insurance. It should
$1.
No, my husband knows.
When we're talking about hashtags too, we have this is the regular KnitChat that we have on Instagram, the KNP 2021 KnitChat. But then this past week, we also started a new hashtag that we encourage you to use, and it is the Shift Happens Cal. And I've been keeping track of that this week a little bit, and there's lots going on in there. You guys are rocking.
I know there's going to be so many finished projects, and then so many more things that I want to make, and so many more yarns that I need to get.
And on and on and on. We all enable one another.
Yep.
Oh, Kathy says if she acquires any more crafting stash, she may have to move out and live in her car. Oh. Susanna says you can take it over to Louise.
Oh, yeah, right.
There you go.
So,
collars.
well, I'm going to do my best to knit it all. Anyway.
Oh, Mary has the collar finished on her shift sweater. I saw that earlier that you would cast that on. And it fits over her head. Perfect. That's exactly what a collar should do, Mary. We're happy to hear that.
But sometimes you never know, depending on whatever kind of... I saw someone earlier, I don't know if it was Valerie, said she had just done her first tubular cast off. And sometimes when you do a different bind off or a different cast on that you haven't done before, that is a good idea to try that out if you're doing like a sweater or something that you have to get over your head, because better to find it out at the beginning.
Yes.
If it's too tight than to get through the whole thing and then find out that it doesn't. So,
well, I think that was the premise behind the Love Note sweater. Because they had you do a provisional cast on, and then you could try that before finding out that the whole sweater fit, and then you couldn't put it over your head, right?
Yes. So Yua says we all inspire one another here, not just enable. So that's right. I'd rather be an inspirer than an enabler.
Good point. Yes.
So,
well, it is inspirational. You know what? Like, here's my thing. You know, we could all just be sitting around doing absolutely nothing, but you know, we're sitting here, we're keeping our hands busy, keeping our minds busy, having meeting people and developing friendships, other people with like interests. And knitting is really a universal language because you don't have to talk, right?
Okay.
And you'll always understand somebody else's knitting.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said it before. I don't know how many times I've been somewhere. Like, for instance, at an airport, you whip out your knitting and you're sitting there knitting, and you're never going to sit there without somebody coming up and saying, oh, isn't that interesting? What are you making? And it's just, you know, people want to, they want to know. They're intrigued. They're inspired, Iwa. They're inspired.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, and it was Mary's first time doing the tubular cast on.
Oh, Mary's. Okay. I knew someone had said, oh, that's good. Good.
Yes. I'm glad that it worked so well for you. I remember my first tubular cast on in a hotel room with a bottle of wine and Noelle on some really fine yarn with needles that I wasn't thrilled with. And it didn't go so well.
You could do it with anything.
That's right.
So
Susan says that when she retires, if the budget is a little tighter, she can knit out of her stash. Exactly.
I don't want my husband to know that.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
Anyway,
Okay. Well, we are at an hour. That is the fastest hour and 10 minutes ever.
know.
I feel like I just sat down. But all good things have to come to an end until next week,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So keep knitting on all your shifty things.
Yes, and keep posting pictures. Yeah, we love to see them.
pictures.
Yep.
And we are so happy that everybody who's joining in got so on board. Like it's this is crazy. I love it, and having so much fun looking at what everybody is making.
Yeah.
Mousy Moo.
Oh,
We
she's
need
from New
to hear the
Zealand.
story behind that someday. She's just started watching our podcasts, and she's from New Zealand. Well, welcome from New Zealand.
We need to add that to the tour.
Okay. And Michelle says that if it wasn't for us, she wouldn't have known about the Noro Akari. Well, we are happy to enable that because I know that's something that we can all get behind. And I know that you'll love it. That's like with 100% confidence, I can say you are going to love that shawl.
As long as you're not allergic to mohair.
As long as you're not allergic to mohair. But honestly, like I wouldn't even have thought.
I don't know. Like I said, Rachel said with the shawl, my shawl, like once it's been washed a few times, she was fine with touching it and feeling it. And so I think that once she's done it and has it blocked and that it should be good. But
okay. Well, you're welcome. Oh, and thank you, Petra, for joining us
thanks,
this
Petra.
week.
And Julia.
Julia.
Thanks.
What are you doing Saturday, Julia? You live close enough. You can come and hang out with us. I'm just going back. Okay. I have to quit reading comments.
Okay.
It's time for us to go.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So we'll be back here next Tuesday night for our Tuesday Knit Chat.
Yep.
And
we should say again, we do that for anybody that's new. Like this is not our regular podcast. Basically, just what we're doing here is just like what you would get if you went to a coffee shop with your knitty buddies.
Yes.
So
and then once a month we actually do a podcast.
Yeah.
And super excited to announce this too. I think finally after how long, Noelle?
I don't know, long.
I think
long.
that this next podcast
it was like October was the last time we were.
Yeah, when we film the next podcast, I think Noelle and I can actually film it together. We're crazy excited about that. Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. Anyway, well, good night, everybody.
You said she's only 2.5 hours away. She can come. Okay, come.
Okay, there you go. Have a super safe week. Have a happy week.
And enjoy Go Knit in Public on Knit in Public Day, as long as it's safe wherever you are.
Yes. And post some pictures for us.
Yes.
I love seeing pictures. I like to live through everybody else's adventures because we're not adventuring a lot ourselves. So if you're out in public, please post some pictures, either tag us or throw it in the knit chat or whatever so we can see, make us notice it somehow. And we will see you all again next Tuesday night.
Yeah. Okay, bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good week. Bye.